Hello everyone, I'm Sophie and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. This is the book that I'll be reading from, Gurus for Hire, Enlightenment for Sale, an insider's guide into the relationship between spiritual teachers, students, and centers. This is by my guru, His Eminence 25th Sam Tuku Rinpoche. I'll be reading from page 121 on the roles of the guru. And before that, as usual, I will go to a picture. There, that's my guru giving a teaching. And this is in our Dharma Center in Sunway Mas, Petaling Jaya. Okay, page 121, the roles of the guru. You have to expect that when you teach Dharma in countries that do not have mass Buddhist consciousness, the group will be smaller. It will need longer periods of training, and you will expect students who fight back, students with anger. Students may think negative things about the guru because the guru has to tell them what is wrong. Tell them the truth. Encourage them to do their practice. Encourage them to attend pujas and go to Dharma classes. Encourage them to be kind to each other. Encourage them not to use each other for money or other gains. And encourage them to keep their promises and commitments. The guru has to tell them to please study, read, try to do meditation and retreats. That, of course, attracts a smaller crowd, and the crowd comes and goes because it is not what they want to hear. The guru has to experience students fighting with him, telling him off, accusing and threatening him, running away, ignoring him. Some students have the audacity to say negative things to other students, nicely and indirectly, to influence them away from the teachers, to validate their wrong, so it looks right. It will be tougher to get sponsorship in non-Buddhist countries. The guru will do his best not to cheat, lie, and to use all types of nice stories to attract people and sponsors. That will take a longer time to attract sponsors, people, and resources because the people who do turn up to sponsor are arrogant to him, think negative thoughts about him, and parasite of him. The guru will get people who cheat him, fight him, curse him, ignore and avoid him, and who are influenced by other negative students. All this because a guru dares tell them the truth. You have to pick what kind of guru you want. One who tells you all the nice things that you want to hear so that you never advance in your practice, or one who tells you the truth and in whom you may initially doubt but come to understand in time. His Holiness 101st Ganden Tri Rinpoche has told us that teachers who teach the Dharma today are very brave, very courageous, and have compassion for the world because they dare tell the truth, kindly without harming. If you want to hear nice words, you can get that anywhere. You can pay a nice pretty girl to tell you all types of nice things. If you shout loud enough, you can get your partners to tell you nice things too, because they want you to stop shouting. If I were really interested in just extorting things from you, if I were the type of person that was here solely for the motivation of getting material gains, finances, and self-gratification, then I would never scold anyone, never tell anyone off, not criticize, not ostracize, not ignore if students miss a commitment. I would not say a word. I would say it is okay. Let them think that they are doing Dharma and never say anything if they are not. Some students complain, Rinpoche is not compassionate, he doesn't talk to me. If I wanted things from you, wouldn't I talk to you? I want those checks. I want the nice things. I want more cars. I want more buildings. I want another diamond ring. So wouldn't it behoove me to be nice to you, to write you nice emails that say you are wonderful, you are fabulous, you are reaching third level bodhisattvahood? If you want to extort money from your students, here's the recipe. Do not shout at them. Do not tell them they are going the wrong way. Do not slap them. Do not scream at them. And do not ignore them for more than 1 hour. Tell them they are fabulous and they are advanced. The biggest secret is to tell people that they are a reincarnation of something. That is the secret ingredient to becoming a high famous Rinpoche anywhere in the world. Why would I tell you to do your sadhana if you do not want to do it? Why would I criticize people, tell them off, give them dirty looks if they do not come for teachings, or force them to go to prayers? Why should I or any guru do that to you if I wanted money, respect, and help from you? If a guru has big sponsors and he ignores them, he does not see them, call them, talk to them, or eat with them, is that the right way to get more money from his big sponsors? Or is it that he's trying to impart the Dharma to them? You must check if it matches. Also, to talk nicely and eloquently in a class situation is great, but I believe in after-sales service. This is to make sure the students are doing their mantras and their visualizations, to make sure the students are holding their commitments and vows, to make sure that when they slip, I can get them back on the path, be it by jokes, fun, scolding, fierce, rough, peace, or any other way. A lot of people find that to be very comforting, caring, and very nice. One or two people feel that the after-sales service is pressure, but it is focusing on them, nitpicking or pointing out their mistakes. But that is not my intention. We can soothe people's mind and teach their mind, but we have to realize their level, understand their minds and where they are right now. Then we slowly take care of them, nurture them, give them love and care. Sometimes love and care can be wrathful and fierce. Sometimes I run the risk that the people to whom I am wrathful, fierce, and direct with will retaliate, fight back, ignore, avoid, or dislike me. I feel very sorry if they do that, but if I have to use a fierce and wrathful method, it means that I must have used the peaceful method many times and it did not work. If you are hanging off the edge of the cliff and I need help to get you off, I will need to scream very loudly for help. In that way, if you are breaking your commitments, your samaya or your practices, of course I will scream. I will intervene and intercede. If I do not call me a guru, a teacher, or a Dharma instructor. Do not even call me a human being. I need to intercede. I need to talk. I need to say things. And because you do not have a Buddhist conscious background, where the guru just needs to say one sentence or one word, saying it simply and gently is probably not going to work. Students around the world outside of Buddhist countries require tremendous explanation, cajoling, jokes, and a tremendous number of methods to educate their minds about Buddhist culture, which took millenniums to establish within a few years. The bottom line is, if people are not doing their commitments, then whether they belong to another guru or not, if they are in my territory, in my center, I will tell them what is right and what is wrong with respect to their Dharma practice and their gurus. My teachers have told me that there will always be one or two people who feel dissatisfied and unhappy. When you go on your teaching career, some will come, some will go, some will come back, some will not come back, some will stay. All of it is okay. Look at them with compassion and let it be. I realize that all this happened to my teachers too. As a Dharma teacher, I'm in a precarious situation because I also have to take on the role of disciplinarian within the center. There are disciplinarian monks and head household monks in the monasteries who instill discipline and remind us of what we are supposed to do. Then the gurus, the rinpoches, the teachers, and the abbots simply teach. Everything else is taken care of. The situation in Dharma centers outside is completely different because the guru has to do everything and play many roles. The guru has to be in front of you in robes, trying to look like a Dharma teacher, give Dharma teachings, remember what he has learned, go through notes, information, and the scriptures to ensure that what he teaches you has a valid scriptural source. He has to stay up extra late at night to make sure of valid scriptural sources. If any of you asks him anything, he can tell you where it is and advise you where you can refer to it. On top of being a Dharma teacher, the guru also has to be a disciplinarian. When things are not right in the center, he has to be the one that speaks up, scolds, cajoles, and rewards the students. That is quite a hard job because, on one hand, the guru is sitting on the throne screaming compassion, 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 and on the other, he manifests as this watchdog barking at you all the time. When students are not happy with each other, the guru also has to be the mediator sometimes, to intercede when there are cat fights, dog fights, revenge fights, ignore fights, and all the different types of mind games that the students have with each other. In the monastery, it is the disciplinarian monks who would act as a mediator. They do not just come round with big sticks and hit you on the head. They actually sit down and talk and enforce the discipline. They are charged to do that by the monastic institution because these situations do arise. The guru has to be the cultural instructor. If you have a Dharma instructor among your midst, you have to know where he comes from, the lineage and practices of his teachings, how to do things, receive and or make offerings, teach and practice Dharma according to a certain tradition. Gurus will not just make up teachings out of the air, so they would usually follow a particular tradition. Since I am Tibetan, the most convenient tradition to follow is the Tibetan Buddhist one. So, as both Dharma teacher and cultural instructor, I have to talk to students about the nuances and the differences in culture and explain what everything means. For example, the significance of katas, prostrations, mandala offerings, and religious culture. When people want to do certain pujas and rituals in Buddhist countries, no explanation is needed. In Tibet, for example, we have rituals and puja houses which have been there for thousands of years, where the Tibetans go to for pujas. Here, we have to explain everything in full detail again and again. When they do their pujas, how much, where, how. It is almost like a business deal, like a convincing game. The senior students forget, do not practice, or are not interested in the Dharma teachings that the Guru has taught. Some do not push themselves to talk, suffer a lack of confidence, or feel that since their Guru is around, they should just let him do the talking. For many reasons, both good and bad, it is always left to the Guru to repeat the preliminary teachings and practical things, such as taking refuge, becoming a member of the center, guru devotion, karma, pujas, etc., over and over again. All these things are very preliminary and basic, but the guru does have to speak about it again and again and again because he is there in the center, and the people rely on him to explain these things. In centers that do not have resident gurus, the students will learn. It is a matter of their center's survival because new people will come and the students have to give the explanations because there is no guru to depend on. There, the students come up with the course, the curriculum. They go to India, learn the pujas, come back and carry it out in their own centers. The students actively engage, look for and talk to the new students or sponsors. They have to do that. If not, their center closes down. They keep it going for their gurus. This is devotion to the Dharma. The guru also has to be the fundraiser. In the monastery, the abbots and gurus do not do all that. But as some teachers are not in their traditional societies, they have to go out and do the fundraising. He has to talk endlessly, tirelessly, again and again about money, raising funds, what the center needs, and even take loans out under his own name. This is unheard of in Buddhist societies. The guru has to be the one that appeases the sponsors, the people who donate and give, and make sure they get something back. In the beginning, that is what is necessary for people who donate. There is a consciousness in many non-Buddhist countries that if they donate something to the center, they would like to get something back as a blessing or a token. The guru also has to appear as a gift giver, to personally get gifts for the students. In the past, I have also had to be my own secretary, write my own letters and cards, stamp it and seal it, send it and reply the hundreds of emails, letter and correspondences. On top of that, the guru also has to be the intermediary for the center and the monastery for whatever needs to be done. Because the monastery does not speak English well enough, the center members do not speak Tibetan, and there are differences in thought. He also has to be the tour guide whenever he brings students to visit the mother monastery. Some people want to teach Dharma. They send out eloquent text messages or emails about Dharma, or sit in a small room with one or two people teaching, sharing and talking about their spiritual knowledge, but they do not want to take the responsibility behind it. There is a responsibility behind teaching Dharma to others. You have to practice. You have to hold your vows. You have to fulfill your commitments and keep your samaya. You have to have after-sales services to take care of the people you teach Dharma to. You cannot just talk to them and then ignore them when the questions get difficult, when you do not have the answers, or when you are not available. If you want to teach Dharma, there are responsibilities. It does not start when you open your mouth and start talking. It starts right now. You have to have the personal characteristics to do that. You have to have perseverance. If you are always fumbling, bumbling, messing up things, dropping things, ruining things, but yet talk so eloquently about the Dharma, it will not move, change, or bring anyone to the Dharma. And with that, I end this session. And thank you for sharing your time with me. And I will end this with a completion dedication in Tibetan. Jangjo Sancho Rinpoche, Make Panam Geshe, Ke Panam Pame Payang, Gone Gondu Pewasho. Tony Toa Rinpoche, Make Panam Geshe, Ke Panam Pame Payang, Gone Gondu Pewasho. Daso Jini Sapagewadi, Tantantroa Gunla Kampadang, Jepa Jesu no Santrapai, Tampingi Borindu Sa Se Sho. Kewa Kuntu Yandala Madang, Drami Choki Palalon Choching, Sadam Nangi Yoterazone, Doji Changi Ngopangatuso. Gewadi Yududa, Lamasang Yodrione, Droa Chika Malupa, De Salago Pasho, Choki Kampusungapa, Chosunampa Pewala, Geki Sama Siwadang, Tunki Malu Sangwasho, Dadam Sangi Dusundan, Drewa Songi Latine, Gewa Losantrapai, Tampayu Riva, Gyushi, ni Modele Sendele, ni Megunyan Deleshi, ni Sentato Dele Pal, Kunchu Songi Jingilo, Kunchu Songi Godruso, Kunchu Songi Trasi Sho. Jason lama ku sen rap ting ching nam ka trini cho cho ke padang lo sometimes Pedro me sop song tro e mun sa ta to ne gyu shi gang ri ra we ko e shin kam den pen dan del ma lu gyu ne charen se wan ten sing get so yi sha pe shi de ba do den gyu shi home tông bề ngõ trùm mà lù pa đến để đó là sau du so có đàn đến pa long chọn năm cái pa xuất hiện sụt tên sao. Thank you for sharing your time with me again. As Rinpoche said, as a guru, with that's in a society does not have the Buddhist consciousness, he has to play many roles. Whereas if he was back in the monastery, he would just be teaching, and other monks will be playing other roles such as being the disciplinarian or like be the secretary and all that things. So they leave room for the teacher to just focus on teachings. And I guess and also, I mean, this is really, Rinpoche telling us as students that we should really step up our responsibilities, that we can take on all the different roles within the organization, so that we will free up the time for our gurus to be able to just focus on teaching, because they do have a lot before they teach. As Rinpoche said, they have to research where the text, research the text, and like quote where, and all sorts of things that involves in teaching, so that it's authentic. Well, thank you again, and I hope that you'll join me for my next session.